Hello everybody, how's it going? Ben Gothard here, founder and CEO of Gothard Enterprises, author of CEO by 20, a little book for big dreams. So today we're going to continue with the series on how to write a book. We're continuing with part 3, picking a topic, and today we are on chapter 10, digging deeper into your topic. So, when you're writing a book and picking your topic, and you're getting a lot more in depth with what you're learning, there's a certain amount of narrowing down and digging deeper that, in my opinion, is really important to this process. Because let's say you are writing about building an e-commerce store or building a Shopify store, building a business. Well, there are things that and you have your experiences, but in my opinion, it is always important and helpful, and it adds to your credibility by bringing in other information, bringing in outside resources and outside information. For example, somebody like Dale Carnegie in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Most of what is in his book is based on other people. It's based on their stories, their insights, their words, their knowledge. And so he synthesizes and compiles both his research, his experiences, and the research and knowledge that is already available out there. And so if you can kind of summarize and synthesize from what other people and leading experts in your field have built already, and then bring your own touch and your own experiences and your own successes to that mix, that, in my opinion, is a very strong way to go about digging deeper into your topic and truly providing as much value as you can to your audience. So how do you do that, right? Well, first and foremost is to narrow down your topic as much as possible, right? So before you can really figure out what exactly you are going to talk about, you need to dig deeper, right? So let's go back to the Shopify example, right? Let's say we're doing Shopify e-commerce. Well, we can dig deeper, right? And one of the digging deeper is Shopify, right? So e-commerce, there's a lot of different platforms. We can dig way deep with Shopify, and then we can dig even deeper in, let's say, handmade goods, or we can talk about drop shipping, or we can talk about drop shipping handmade goods, or something like that. So you want to really dig as deep as you possibly can and niche down as far as possible. Now what do I mean by that? Well, you want to basically be known and position yourself as an expert on one thing, one incredibly important thing. Okay, and so when you can really dive deep into that one thing, and let's say, let's use another example, fishing. Okay, let's say you're going to write a book about fishing, and then you want to write a book about saltwater fishing, and then within saltwater fishing, you want to talk about how to catch speckled trout. That's very niche, right? That is one fish within the whole broad spectrum of fishing. Okay, so it really helps to dig deeper. Now, how do you actually dig deeper? Right? How do you do that? Well, there are three ways that I want to talk about. One is research, right? Going out on the internet or going to your local library and reading up on your topic, watching videos on your topic, listening to podcasts on your topic. As much information as you could possibly consume it, right? You want to basically influx your brain with as much information on that topic as you can. Now I realize you have your own experiences and your own knowledge, but again, we want to build off of what other people have already done. We want to add your flavor, your experiences, and we want to create something greater, something that is the whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay, so researching, right? When you're researching, okay, this is another niche. Within researching, there's a few steps we have to take, right? One is figuring out what sort of information that you actually want to talk about. Do you want to go more anecdotal, where you're telling stories like Dale Carnegie and how to win friends and influence people? Do you want to go more fact-based, where you're giving statistics, you're doing a case study, you're letting people inside of your business, or you're giving people insight into your own life, right? Is it more based on your experiences? Is it more based on results that you've had? These are all important things that you need to think about and dig into when you are figuring out exactly what topic to write. Okay, so I would advise, asking yourself those questions. Is it going to be more story-based? Is it going to be more personal experience based, where I'm just kind of giving people flashbacks? Is it going to be more factual based, where I'm researching and finding articles and quoting those articles and synthesizing and adding my own opinion to it after that? It's important to figure out which direction you want to go in, and only you know which direction is best for you, right? So when you are researching these things and you are looking at these articles and books and blogs and videos and all these different things, one very important factor is to make sure that you are finding credible resources, okay? So one thing that a lot of people do that I think is probably not the best idea is they cite Wikipedia as their source. And while I think Wikipedia does have a lot of good information, it's the resources that Wikipedia can lead you to that I think is a real gold mine, right? So start with Wikipedia, get a general overview of your topic, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom of that article and look at those sources, right? So if you're reading a Wikipedia article, get an overview, and then at the very bottom there are a lot of credible sources like .edus, .govs. I mean, there are a few .coms that are trustworthy, but you're really going to have to look for some that you know who's writing it, you know their experiences, and you know that they're successful in whatever they're talking about, or they have a lot of experience. So, it's important to find credible resources, because if you're consuming content and then you're building on that content and adding your own, you need to make sure that what you're building off of is a very strong foundation, right? Is very strong. So, for example, I would trust something written by Jeff Bezos, or who's the founder and CEO of Amazon, versus somebody who is just a random person online who says, I'm the king of marketplaces, right? Jeff Bezos definitely has a lot more experience than somebody who's just claiming to say that. So let the resources get your approval, right? You need to put your investigator hat on and make sure that these sources are very credible, because especially if you're basing what you're talking about in your book off of these resources, and then of course building on top of it with your own. So after you are, or while you're researching, I would highly advise to take notes, right? Because you're going to be learning so much, and it's going to just be an influx, and there are going to be different perspectives that it really helps to write stuff down. And then, of course, cite your sources, right? At the end of CEO at 20, a little book for big dreams, I have about 2 pages full of resources where people can go see a lot of where I got my facts from, right? Because I don't want people to think that I'm just talking just to talk, or I'm just making stuff up. I always want to say, if I'm claiming a fact, either I have my resources that say, I have my sources like, this is where I got this fact from, this is from this case study, or this massive study, or this is based on my experiences, right? I either like to do experiences or based on research, something concrete. And so it's important, in my opinion, to make sure that if you're going to research something, that you do it right? So take your time and do the research, because it can really come back to pay dividends later on. Because if anybody calls you out on any piece of your book, any information that you are talking about, you can say, well, actually, if you check this resource Z in your index, you can say this study actually was done over 10 years by this credible individual, and here were the results, and this is where I base my conclusion off of, right? And so you can really talk about and add credibility to your message. So besides research, I also think that actually speaking to people in the field is important, right? Going out into the field and speaking to individuals who have already been successful or are currently successful in the industry or the field that your book is talking about. For example, if you're writing a book on Shopify dropshipping, then you might want to go talk to somebody who has made a lot of money, or is currently making money doing Shopify dropshipping. If you're going to write a book on, let's say, Twitter marketing, then you might want to go interview somebody who is killing it on Twitter, right? And so by finding experts and interviewing them, you can add a ton of credibility to your book. You can gain a lot of insight into your topic, and it really allows you to build a very strong foundation for which people can now view your book, your resource, as a definitive guide, as something that is evergreen, because you have all these experts and you're providing tons of good information, and it is something that they will come back to continuously read over and over again. So that is the power of interviewing experts for your book, for your topic. And then I would say as the last one, right? So the first one is research. The second one is interviewing experts. And the third way to dig deeper into your topic is just going out into the field, right? Going out and talk to your customers and see what exactly they're struggling with and what they want to learn, and help them with that, right? So by helping them, you can then talk from that experience. And if you are providing real value to real people and they're getting significant results, that is an incredible asset to be able to put in your book, because that shows people that not only have you done your research, you've interviewed your experts, but you've also given people the knowledge beforehand and they've tested it outside of your business, right? So other people have had success with what you're talking about, and now you're sharing this in the book. That is huge. That is a huge way to build credibility and really narrow down what you want to talk about in the book, right? So again, I keep going back to this, but one of the best examples of this is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Throughout his book, he includes anecdotes of his students and the successes that they've had. So by him sharing the successes of the people who have already listened to what he said, he's making the reader that much more confident in what they're reading. And that is really allowing him to dig deeper into the topic and for people to actually trust his opinion and to listen to him. So, this video has been a lot about establishing credibility and really picking a strong topic and enforcing the credibility on it. And that does come through digging deeper into your topic. So I hope this has been helpful. Just remember the 3 ways that you can dig deeper into your topic that we've talked about today have been doing the research, interviewing experts, and going out into the field and giving people a trial run of your information that you're going to put into your book and see what they have the best success with. So I hope this has been helpful. Let's build a better world together. Talk to you soon. Bye.